Afternoon, everyone, and welcome in. Before we get into this mid-afternoon live, first I want to just say, with Trump speaking, that's why I'm on. But do any of you know, out of curiosity, or where are you viewing it right now? Where are you guys viewing it right now? Because I'm gonna look at it on YouTube, but I'm trying to figure out the best avenue to find it and to make sure it's going on time. So I just figured before I set up any of that, I would just, you know, we'll get to this together. So I know Trump's having his live news conference. I guess I could have went on Truth. Schwartz was saying $4.29 incoming. Oh, if certain things happen today, it's gonna be interesting. It's really gonna be interesting. And I wouldn't rather be anywhere else but besides with the audience. So something's happening. C-SPAN, that would be a good spot to look. I do agree with that, actually. C-SPAN. I guess I could have looked at Bloomberg too, but welcome in, everybody. Hope you're having a blessed day so far. Because there's that the Senate stuff is going on right now. So a lot of stuff, it's showing the Senate stuff right now. Paul Barron Network. Well, I'd love to give somebody some publicity here. Otherwise, I'll have to go on just on the Internet Explorer, but then no one's going to get any kind of viewership off my show by any, like, the analytics or anything. It's... Okay. Wait a minute. Well, it's got to be alive. Where the hell is this? That was 1 day ago.
I can't find it.
U.S. crypto... Oh, here we go. Well, I can't... Well, I got to have the actual press conference, though. I can't be watching his show. I'm just going to type in the crypto press conference. I should have did this before I came on, but I was just going to go with the audience because everybody always says where they're watching it. I'll probably just go to Bloomberg. Usually I just put it on Bloomberg until it starts. Whenever something happens. Oh, Twitter. That's probably the place to go. That's the place to go. Duh. Why would the mainstream have it on every single spot? Check out this open letter from Hester Pierce. Crypto news. U.S. Senate Banking Committee. Is this it right here? I think this is it. Digital assets, yeah. Right? This is it. Yeah, this is it. Thank you, everybody. That's why I wanted to do this with the audience. See how beautiful we are here? So I'm going to have this in the background, but I want to go to the charts. When that starts, can you guys tell me when it starts, please? Because you're all monitoring it on X, Julie.
Oh, you can't watch anywhere else?
I don't know, but I'll share it onto... I'll share it on my X. For anybody who's trying to watch this, I'll share it on my X account. Even though I never promote it, so none of you know I have one. But I do have one, XRP Future Millionaire. Oh, I appreciate your guys' time as well, but I figure we learn better in a community. I'm going to send this to Julie, so please be patient. But when this starts, please let me know. It'll start on X. But I'm not on that page. I'm on the charts. You know, Julie, I multitask. So here, Julie, I'm going to send you that post, and then you'll just be able to open it up from your phone, okay? Hold on, Julie, I'm sending it right now, okay?
Okay.
I just had to copy it on my phone. All right, I just sent it to you.
Okay.
So if you type in on XRP Future 222, my stuff will come right up. I never talk about it, and I don't even know how there's like 1,500 people or whatever following.
I don't have it.
You don't need to. It'll just pull it up. No one says you have to make an account. Do love these guys blessing from Dark One. I appreciate that, Robert. I see everybody giving blessings too. I appreciate this audience watching you from California at work. Hey, I'll be honest. If you guys hear my background today, I know there's a little bit of ambience in the air, but I've never ever had the urge to put in like this kind of a background. But I in my head when I was setting this up, it just heaven's ambience was in my head. So this is what I came up with. And I'm not a high budget film, so I do things strategically. Oh wow, a $5 donation. Holy smogolies. Something happening. Leverage not needed. Be safe, everyone. Thanks for everything, Tom. See you at the lake soon. Hey, that's why I don't talk about, remember when I used to, for a small time, talk about leverage? I stopped talking about that because it's going to turn into a zero-sum game here. When that happens, leverage is not safe. And I used to say not even 2x is safe on what they're going to have with this minute. Oh, man. I don't want to talk in past tense, but I'm trying to plan for the next chapter, which is why I started spending some of my profits in crypto already that I had. Because I'm living in I feel like my timeline has shifted. Because growing up, I didn't have anything. Like, I literally built myself from nothing. And I don't know what to think of it anymore. And I don't. Like, this rally right now, and a lot of our stuff, even with XRP diving down to 270 right now, we bought at 34 cents. Like, I literally started this with 4 figures when I had like a $5,000 account when I started on YouTube. And now it's, well, it's like less than a 10x away from $1 million. It's like 100 and something thousand. Like that doesn't rationalize right now because I know where we started as a community and what we're doing. And it's like, if this next part goes even a 3-4x and and it's not all in crypto right now. Like some of it's on the sidelines because I like to have so much in, so much out, but it's like, I'm dealing with levels that I didn't think was going to happen this quickly. I knew it was going to happen. William, welcome in. You sure have. We both have. So true. The thing that's so hard is I was planning on this in 2028 to be like, I knew we'd get near 6, but I thought it was going to take a little bit longer. And the only way out of it to go longer was that rally at the end, like it happened at the end of 24, and we followed that descending wedge the whole time. And the fact it happened like that dropped to $1.77. I was so happy in the market to follow because we needed that cataclysmic breakdown. It happens every single cycle, and it's always better than 50%. And it happened again. And like, once you know, if you've been around in the cycles, I got criticized. I remember and I like to talk about this because a lot of people, maybe not me criticized, well, maybe criticism, but there was a lot of why didn't you tell everybody to sell, just to get out of the way or get out of the market? It's hard to do that when I don't feel like we're at a market top yet. I feel like in a 5-weight Elliott wave, if we're just being honest, it can't be done yet. Just where the technical target started to finish, it's not done yet. So even for myself, the only thing I sell out is things over the top. I don't sell my bags out. And it's like, I can't tell anybody to do what I'm not doing. So if I fully liquidate, you would know. Joseph, thank you so much for the $10 donation. Julie, what did this comment say? Oh, you're watching the X. Did it come up on your phone at least?
Is this what it's supposed to look like?
Yes. It was, let's see. I hope you and your son feel better soon. Let's go XRP. I'm starting to get better. Like, there's no doubt about it. I worked out today at my house. We're not going anywhere for a while because my son still had a fever this morning. Has he run one since this morning?
Just low.
It was just the low. I mean, since that. It's all been under the low grade.
Yeah.
Okay. Because he's like low grade fever, nothing over 100. He only had the 100.4 yesterday. But like I said, we we had to do a few things because at his school there's a bunch of crazy stuff going around. So it's like I didn't mind going back to school the rest of the week, kind of, because they have influenza A, influenza B, what else, Julie? Strep throat and RSV going around at the school, and he tested negative for all of them, thankfully, and COVID. But you know, we have to make sure to be safe too because my mom's getting a major surgery on Friday because she has diverticulitis really bad, and they have to remove part of her intestinal tract. Oh, it's not good. And so I didn't want to. I can't go if obviously I can't even go if I feel like this. So I need to get better in a few days because they're not going to let me walk through the door. Well, you know how it is, Julie. When you're draining, they don't want you. We can't even get T to his therapies if he's got. Afternoon, Tom. Hope your son gets back to his normal self real soon. He's actually doing a little bit better now. He's. It's weird with him because he's got the feeding tube, so it's like even if he doesn't want to eat, he still is getting fed. So it's like we're not worrying about that. But he's slowly gaining his energy back. But he's been more like his normal self today. But you can tell he's not feeling well. The doctors, this is a lengthy one that's going around. They're saying 5 to 7 days. He's got to still go through, and I could see every bit of it. But I keep hearing from the audience how these illnesses are dragging out right now with your kids. And it's like we live in Michigan right now, and it's no fun because it went from like -6 to 45 in 2 days? And then it's going to go back. Now it was like 10, and we just go from boom, 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 boom. So it gets interesting for us in Michigan. May this strengthen you, blessings and petitions in Jesus' blood. Amen to that. I told you, Julie. It's the tone. It's a different essence. This is the problem. It is taking too long.
They should have their stuff ready and start on time.
Can we get started on time? What, you really thought the Senate was going to start on time?
Minutes.
I don't know. A friend of mine in D.C. got sick, and his coworker said something was going around. Everyone stay safe. Oh, something is definitely going around. I'm so glad, though, that, there was nothing my son tested positive for, because at his school, there's so much stuff going around. It's like he dodged the bullet there. He's still not feeling well, but they are never on time. True said hi, Julie. We got some people saying hi. She said hi back to all these good fellows and ladies and gentlemen. Huh? I want it to start too. Tom is my shepherd, I shall not want. Love it. Gun Garage, thank you for being part of Tom's army as well. Appreciate that. Do appreciate that. Maybe his press conference running on Bitcoin Network.
I got that show.
Hey, that's the Big Ten Network, damn it. No, I'm kidding. BTN. They're going to have to buy it out. I like the tone in here. I do. I really do. We had a fundamental shift earlier, and it was nice. All right, so can we still look real quick while we're trying to kill time? Look at the all-time chart. Do you see the difference right now? Remember XRP when it felt great? And we're like, okay, how are we going to get this liquidation? You see that big True's in here. True knows the chart's true. Do you see the bull hammer? This is my face that I make when we can see something sneaky might be going on behind the scenes. You start to go.
Starting.
Okay, it's on. Tom shutting up.
Tim Scott.
What the hell kind of
Chairman
view is
French
this?
Hill,
It's like
Chairman
ass.
John Bozeman and Chairman G.T. Thompson. So thank you all for your leadership
Oh, there we
and
go.
commitment to addressing some of the most important opportunities of our time in ensuring that the U.S. remains at the forefront of innovation and digital assets. The president said in his executive order in the first week that it's the policy of his administration to support the responsible growth and use of digital assets, blockchain technology, and related technologies across all sectors of the economy. And he established an executive branch working group for digital assets, which includes Secretary Besson at Treasury, Secretary Noem, soon to be confirmed Attorney General Bondi, Secretary Letnick at Commerce.
Did that help the echo? Hopefully that helped the echo.
Administration officials that have an equity in crypto. And similarly, the SEC has set up a crypto task force led by Hester Peirce, which is also looking at this issue. And together, our objective is to accomplish the task the president assigned for us in his EO, which is to propose a federal regulatory framework governing the issuance and operation of digital assets, including stablecoins, in the United States. I've talked to many founders over the past few years, and they've told me repeatedly that the number one thing they need from Washington is regulatory clarity. They just want to know what the rules of the road are so they can abide by them. We're coming off, frankly, 4 years of arbitrary prosecution and persecution of crypto companies where the SEC wouldn't tell founders.
This is already starting off good.
But then they would prosecute them. And many founders have debanked personally just because they had founded a crypto company. All of this approach was driving this important technology of the future offshore, and we want to keep that innovation onshore in the US. Financial assets are destined to become digital, just like every analog industry has become digital, and we want that value creation to happen in the United States rather than giving it away to other countries.
H-bar,
This will also
BGB,
much better for
XRP,
consumer protection
XLM.
because it's easier for regulators to supervise an activity when it's onshore. And it's probably not a coincidence that the single biggest fraud in the history of crypto, which was FTX, was based in the Bahamas. By moving the innovation onshore, it'll be easier to separate out the good actors from the bad actors.
We were so early.
And we want to encourage the good actors, the innovators, while protecting the market from the bad actors. And I think a market structure legislation with clear definitions and fair rules will do that. I want to say additionally, we're excited about working with both the House and Senate on stablecoin legislation. I know Senator Hagerty introduced a bill today. This stablecoins really have the potential to ensure American dollar dominance internationally, to increase the usage of the U.S. dollar digitally as the world's reserve currency, and in the process create potentially trillions of dollars of demand.
Dude, this is what I talked about in 2021, dude. I could not describe it enough. It's happening in
So
real
let me
fucking
stop
time.
there, and I want to thank the chairman here today, Chairman Scott, Chairman Hill, Chairman Bozeman, Chairman Thompson. And I look forward to working with them as part of the administration to help turn President Trump's policy into reality. This was a week one priority for the administration, and we're excited that our counterparts in Congress are equally committed to ensuring American dominance in digital assets. I look forward to working with each of you. And with that, I want to say work with each of you in creating a golden age in digital assets. And with that, I'll turn it over to Chairman Scott. Thank you.
I think David represents promises made, promises kept. I love the campaign trail when President Trump was out there making promises, and we see today he's keeping those promises. And in so many ways, I think back to a kid as I was a long time ago, growing up in a single-parent household, mired in poverty, and hoping that the American dream
Don't forget to
would
give
one day
thanks
be
to the Lord and
successful
Savior
for me.
Jesus Christ, good or
I think
bad,
that we're standing here today at the precipice
to be able
of
to
greatness for so
embrace
many
what
kids
most don't.
who are looking forward to democratization, having access points for their families and for themselves that makes it easier and less expensive to do business in this country. I love the concept that we see today, synergy within the administration, the House, and the Senate, focusing not on ourselves, but focusing on working class Americans who desperately need to reduce their prices and increase their access. That's what the bicameral working group will help tackle. I have a pre-existing working friendship with GT and French and John.
Trump hasn't
And the
come on,
good
guys.
news is
What
we
do they mean?
come together, already having proven the ability to work together to get things done for the American people. It's an exciting time to be an American. And as David said, the golden age has begun. And the good news is it's going to get better. I'm excited about what we
I didn't come here to
accomplish
listen to you,
for the
Scott.
American people.
Get the hell off
I'm
my
excited
screen. I don't want to
about
listen to
the
you.
synergistic approach that we're taking.
You never
in
did
the
anything.
House
Get out.
and the
I don't
Senate,
want to hear any of
with
these
the White
guys.
House leading the way. Next, you'll hear from Chairman French Hill.
Okay.
Thank you, Chairman Scott, and David Sachs, thank you for
David
coming to
Sachs.
Capitol Hill to celebrate with us the fact that in the 119th Congress, we have a bicameral project for both a stablecoins bill and a regulatory framework that will bring clarity to digital assets in the United States so that we are the land of opportunity, the land of innovation that we have been for decades in so many other technologies. We don't want to be behind.
You're lucky I don't grab that
in
tongue out of your
financial
mouth, sir.
technology and digital assets in the United States. But our innovators, as David Sachs reported, need clarity. They need to know what the rules of the road are. And that's why I'm excited to be here today to share this announcement that we're forming a working group on a bicameral basis between the House Financial Services Committee, the Senate Banking Committee, the House Agriculture Committee, and the Senate Agriculture Committee to make progress on that clarity for a regulatory framework and to create and structure a stablecoins bill that will lend itself to advancing
Now that you mention them,
America as
none
the
of them.
reserve currency of the world. This is a big issue. Bicameral support this year is dynamic because last year in the 118th Congress, we had success on a bipartisan basis in the House.
We're starting to kick
on
it down the
both
road here.
stablecoin legislation moving
Been
out
a
of the
good-
Financial Services Committee.
Well, might as well get the cannabis now.
Moving across
Here
the
comes the
House floor
bullshit. I'll be
with a
right
strong
back.
bipartisan vote. 71 Democrats joined
Here
House
comes the
Republicans
nonsense.
in moving that
Started off
policy
strong,
forward.
but now we got a whole bunch of
So in my
horseshit.
view, with the wind at our back of a leader like President Trump, who knows that financial innovation, financial
Give us Trump
technology
before you
is
take the
where,
market, asshole.
America's heart is, where our entrepreneurs' our hearts are.
This guy, they better
That
stop
will lead
talking
from
before they
executive
tank the
branch
freaking
and
market
now,
before Trump even comes
with
on. This is horse
bicameral
shit. What is this?
partnership With Senate Agriculture and Senate Banking.
Lord, help
with our
us.
House committees. I look very
Bunch of crackpots in front of us.
forward to the success we're going to have in the 119th Congress. And let me ask my good friend from Arkansas, a fellow Razorback,
No,
the
he's
chairman
not.
of the House Ag Committee, John Bowen.
John Bozo's up next.
We're all still excited about the big Kentucky win. So it's good to be with you all. We've been working hard on this for the last 3 years. And we've had our ups and our downs. When we started working on it, crypto was gaining popularity. And then with Sam Bankman-Fried and other things, it seemed like perhaps it was in trouble. It's rebounded though and is bigger than ever. So our goal is to make sure that
Every time these guys
consumers are
talk, my
protected,
pocketbook goes down.
make sure that the industry, in order for it to grow and be able to offer all of the things that it does offer to the various disciplines that are out there, whether you're a bank or whether you're investing a client's money for their retirement or whatever, you've got protections, there's structure in it, and it will allow the industry itself, because it is regulated, people can have confidence in that, to grow. It's a little different than our normal situations in the sense we've got these jurisdiction things. So I'm the chairman of AG. Why am I here? Because we have the Commodities Futures Trading Commission. And some assets are commodities, some are securities. So the SEC has jurisdiction over the securities, CFTC has jurisdiction over the other. So the idea that we're working together, again, we've all been working separately. We've made progress over the last several years, but working together now with purpose, and then also having the White House, having the czar over here, again, to visit with him and really set up a structure so that we can get a final structure to make this thing work is very, very important. So I appreciate Senator Scott, I think, really coming up with that idea. And I think it's a good one, and we're looking forward to actually get some things accomplished in the next several months.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Congressman G.T. Thompson, Chair of the House Agriculture Committee. And this is what we're doing today is sort of the next step, and what will be.
I
a
am smoking
milestone,
moon melon.
which will be a great
Moon
accomplishment
melon.
for our country. America really was a leader when it came to Internet 1.0, right? It was the Internet of knowledge. And the Internet 2.0, again, it was America that led that for the world, not just for our citizens, but for the world. And that was the Internet of
Say the Internet of Things.
Of things, and then
Yeah, thank you.
3.0 is what we're talking about today, and that's the Internet of Value, and we're approaching it in a principled way. You know, my colleagues here mentioned a couple of those. Number one, do no harm. You know, protect consumers, provide that regulatory structure, that certainty, both for the industry, but quite frankly for the
Internet of Things, baby.
well. And secondly is foster innovation, because the opportunities are just really are unimaginable. Well, what I think
I
what
coerced
know,
them to
what
say.
I believe is that whatever's over the horizon is going to be very, very exciting. So I'm really, well, first of all, just very thankful to President Trump for his historic efforts to bring regulatory clarity to the digital assets markets. His leadership with the work that David Sachs is going to lead on his behalf is going to be a game changer for American competitiveness in the global race to build the new economy. The president could not have picked a better person to helm his AI and digital asset efforts. David brings a wealth of experience in exploring new technologies and building successful businesses to this new role. You know, we've had great conversations, and I know that he is laser focused on bringing certainty to digital asset markets. I want to congratulate my friend Chairman French Hill. He is the right man to lead the Financial Services Committee in the House at this moment, in this time, and he's a great partner and the type of leader that we need to advance this issue. We worked incredibly well last Congress together alongside Patrick McHenry, and I'm excited to build on that work together. I also want to congratulate our newly elevated Senate colleagues, Chairman Bozeman and Chairman Scott. Perhaps there's no one more pleased than me to be able to say Chairman Bozeman. John and Tim and their members are going to bring a wealth of talent and expertise to this discussion from the Senate majority. We did incredible work in the House last Congress in the 118th. And I'm proud of the efforts that went into our historic.
You might regret it, anti-communist. I'm a very good poker
I'm
player.
equally excited to have these partners and a new administration in place to be able to finish the job. I'm thrilled to lead House Agriculture Committee members as we work with this incredible team to put a bill on President Trump's desk. And I think at this point we're going to be in a position to take a few questions.
Thank you, everyone. We're going to take some questions from the crowd. If you direct your questions, please say your name and how you're Emily, we'll start with you.
Emily Wilkins, NBC. Thanks so much for holding this today. I wanted to start out when you're talking about legislation. Can you talk a little bit about, we had 21 last time, the bill that you're planning to introduce again, what differences are you going to see now that we have the trifecta in Washington?
Well, thanks, Emily. We did do good work, good, strong bipartisan work on 21, which was the clarity for a market structure bill. That bill, I think, had the basics for the exact bill that we'll propose to introduce again in the 119th Congress. There may be some modest changes, but it had bipartisan support. We did a lot of work in our markup and in the floor preparation for it in both the Ag Committee under Dusty Johnson leadership and G.T. Thompson's leadership and in House Financial Services. So on the regulatory framework bill, that'll be the approach that the House takes. On stable coins, I think you'll see us have a bill that's very similar.
They talk about the Internet
to
of Things.
approach
It's
that's
not
been
nothing.
taken in the
They talk about the
Senate.
IoT.
Recently, Senator Hagerty's introduced legislation. That bill was closer to the original proposal that Patrick McHenry put in place early in the 118th Congress, and I think you'll see the House expose a draft for stable coins that would be similar to the approach taken by Senator Hagerty. But let me ask GT or to comment or Tim.
So I established this year a digital asset subcommittee so that we could take a deep dive into market structure as well as stable coins. Good news is stable coins led by Bill Hagerty on the Senate side's out already today. We've seen Cynthia Lummis as a co-sponsor. Market structure is a place where you have left and right leaning in. We have members from Gillibrand and Lummis working together in the past, now working together in the future, coming to the table to create the framework for the Senate so that we can harmonize Fit 21, the parts that we see as a path forward to a signature into law. So the good news is, from my perspective, having the digital asset subcommittee really working on the market structure at the same time simultaneously having Bill Haggerty lead the conversation on stable coins, having that bill out for us to take a look at, and there will be an amendment process. Will be a part of that for us, and then hopefully very quickly we'll see the House working on it as well. So we'll have a legislation that's able to go to the president's desk.
Let me just say, I'm very proud of the work that we did in 118th with Fit 21, and that was done in, you heard others talk about, we had Republicans and Democrats, certainly in committee and on the House floor, a significant vote that we achieved, but I like to say we achieved that in a tripartisan way. We worked in bringing the industry, bringing key stakeholders to the table, and so I look forward to quite frankly, on working with my colleagues here and President Trump to continue that process of refining what we do, whether it's market structures and the other aspects of this bill.
Brendan Peterson with Punchbowl News. I wanted to ask if you all are thinking about making changes to anti-money laundering law as a part of this push, given the concerns we've heard about banking in the crypto sector and beyond, and broader concerns about money transmitter licenses and the sensitivities of AML.
We're certainly open for discussion. One of the things that the subcommittee will take a look at is the whole playing field. I mean, at the end of the day, to get all of our members on board, we're going to have to be open to comments and thoughts on the issue. I think we're in a good place. The Bank Secrecy Act is something that we've discussed with the other side. They have a focus on it. I think that the broader conversation should not be about digital assets alone. It's about bad actors doing bad things by any means necessary. And so having that conversation from a panoramic view and not simply from an digital asset perspective is going to be important for us to get to the end of that conversation.
Brendan, I would add, having been the subcommittee chair in the last Congress, and Brian Stiles is going to have that mission this time. He'll do an excellent job, I think, on the market structure bill and the stablecoin bill as it relates to the security aspects of it. We were very sensitive in the 118th Congress about the law enforcement aspects of digital assets, not any different than we are about any other means of transfer of or payment method, whether you're talking about cash or the ACH system or real-time payments. This is an important point. I agree with Senator Scott completely. We'll listen to our members. But in the drafts that we offered last year that, as I say, we had bipartisan support for, they had strict AML standards in them for this digital arrangement for digital assets that are not unlike the requirements out in the analog financial services space. It's why we call the bills fit for purpose, because this is not an intermediated form of finance anymore, and so these laws have to reflect how transactions are conducted. But AML and BSA are important for every member on both sides of the Capitol.
For both of the stablecoin and the FIT bills last year, I'm just curious this year whether you have any idea of the timeline when you expect to get those worked through Congress, and then also could this ride along anything like the Farm Bill, for instance, given the Agriculture Commission?
Well, we have to work on getting the Farm Bill. And we're going to do that.
What are they laughing about? They're wasting my time.
Yeah, the time-wise, I think one of the most important things we're doing now, with every Congress, we have new members that retire or are defeated, and we have new members coming in. So we're starting that now and have started member education. And quite honestly, crypto is not the easiest thing to wrap your mind around. Not everyone comes into Congress with a good, full understanding and a thorough knowledge. And so member education is what our first goal is here. And then how it times up, it is, I think we've shown the ability to be able to move a market structures bill, well, Fit 21 as a whole, out of the House in the past. I think we're probably in a really good position to, when we conclude our work and preparation this time around, to be able to do that. So I don't see this being attached to a farm bill.
hang on one second.
I would say, if I was thinking about this a little bit, I think what we have is an opportunity to get things done. My theory is the first 100 days of a new administration is important. On the Senate side, my goal is to be as aggressive as possible to achieve an objective of having bills through the Senate in 100 days.
Just to go back to Emily's question on this and combine it with timing, Maeve, is here's the way to think about it. We did a lot of work in the 118th Congress in the House. So we're prepared to move forward in the House Financial Services Committee, and I won't speak for Chairman Thompson, by introducing legislation or having discussion drafts of our legislation, attaching those to a set of committee hearings. But it's exactly as GT points out. We have new members, we've got to do new member education. And so we have to level set here. This is why Chairman Bozeman and Chairman Scott have stepped up digital assets at a subcommittee level to bring members along and do that member education here in the Senate, something that in the House.
Oh, good. Now we just have to wait 3 months.
We have
That's
two
good.
Congresses working on that. So
Oh,
I think
I
a
told you
key
it would
element
after this
now, though, is the
colossal
education
collapse.
and technical assistance that can be provided to members both in the House and Senate from the executive branch now as President Trump's leadership posts are confirmed, and key among them is his AI and crypto advisor.
Ah, I see what's going on here. We got another, we got to wait for the data scenario playing out here again.
Absolutely. So this is what we're here
He
for.
said absolutely.
And,
See, I
actually
mean, what
did
can
a
I say?
session even before the start of this Congress with Speaker Johnson. We did a great sort of open dialogue with members of the House in that case. And I think part of what we're here to do is provide resources on education. Some of them can be outside advisors, kind of luminaries in the industry, and we're talking to a lot of those people. And then, I'm also available anytime to talk to members about this. It can, crypto can be an esoteric subject, and it is good to explain it, to kind of demystify it, because I think once you understand that, you've kind of got the cryptocurrency itself, like Bitcoin, but then what it really runs on are blockchains, which are just distributed ledgers. It's really a new type of decentralized computing platform, and there's a lot of things that can be built on that computing platform. So in any event, we're happy here to provide those resources to help explain it, both on Capitol Hill and beyond.
Thank you, Jasper Goodman with Politico. Thanks for doing this. Senator Hagerty is out with the stablecoin bill today. Given that that's out there and that there's been more consensus in the past on stablecoins as opposed to market structure, do you plan to move first on stablecoins ahead of market structure? And relatedly, to what extent in both of these processes do you plan to engage Democrats versus going out alone now?
500,000 ZBCN. I have 2 million ZBCN now.
So the
Ooh, where's it at price-wise? I'm telling you, that's.
been working with Democrats already.
I haven't been
on
excited
the
about
bill.
one like
You'll
that in a
see
while.
the
It's cheap,
co-sponsors will line up
and
on
it could
both
drop
sides.
80%. I'm
Good
still
news is
excited
that
about
the
it.
bill is moving quickly.
Weird.
I'm actually pleasantly surprised at a place where you see very little bipartisan coalition building. The members of the committee, as well as folks like Gillibrand off the committee, are very anxious to have a win.
Hey, we could be the ruling
in these
majority of
digital
ZBCN
space.
in
And
this
so,
community.
for the first time in a long time, there's a reason to take a deep breath and release it, because the legislation moving forward very quickly.
Ooh,
is
I don't get
happening.
tax return.
Good news is they have had, as Fritz said, a lot of time working on the legislation as well. Finding the places where there are disagreement will be the key for us getting it to the president's desk. And that's where I think the task happens next, is to take a look at the component parts of Hagerty's stablecoin bill. But that's what we're moving first, is stablecoins.
In the House, and I'll speak for the Financial Services Committee and then yield to my friend GT, we're proposing that we'll essentially move the stable coins and a FIT 21 type structure, as I've now answered that question 2 or 3 times, on a similar track. And we're going to begin that process where we left off in the 118th Congress. And we worked hand in glove diligently with our colleagues on the Democratic side of the aisle in the House. Many of the ideas that are reflected in the market structure bill and some in the stable coins bill reflected views from the minority party in the House. And we'll continue to do that. And you'll see that as we move forward with a set of hearings and the discussion. So I remain committed to trying to make these bills bipartisan success in the House. And certainly we'll cooperate with the senators and try to be a part of any kind of educational effort here on a bipartisan base to support their efforts here in the Senate. GT.
I have the same commitment, so I really don't have anything against.
Great, last question, Jagger. Thank you so much, Jim Schonberg on behalf of Finance. On the campaign trail, the president said he supported the Bitcoin reserve. I'm curious what the plans are with that at this point.
I was hoping for like a more substantial dump. I can't buy anything yet if it only dumps this much. It hasn't back tested where I want it to. You take these moments for the back test you need. Oh God, now we got Costanza over here.
Us to do was to evaluate the idea for a Bitcoin reserve, and so that is one of the things. That's one of the first things we're going to look at as part of the internal working group in the administration. So as soon as we get all that set up, we're still waiting for
that's
some
the one
cabinet
that's out of
secretaries who are on the working group to get confirmed. So we're still in the very early stages of this, but that's one of the first things we're gonna look at is the feasibility of a Bitcoin reserve. I think the concept of the sovereign wealth fund is a little separate, and you'd have to talk to
the hell is that
Secretary
noise?
Lutnick.
That's on the
soon to be
conference.
Secretary Lutnick about that.
Thank you all very much.
If you guys are looking for some, Jasmy's down 11%. Are these guys done finally? What an event! I'm glad we sat here together and watched that cabossel called nothing. So what did we learn? Well, I feel stupider than when I started watching that, to be honest with you. So I did not learn anything. What I did learn is commodities are still in a great spot. Nobody's talking about them. And I've been feasting on them. I bought more commodities, as a matter of fact, just the other day, as I told some of you. I'm up to, told you I was just building bags. I have 3,222 B2 gold. I have 700 and I think 725 Fortuna silver mines, and I'm very passionate about this, so I apologize for some of you who don't like commodities, because even when one side is failing, the other side is running. So it's like you have to be able to balance the market. And the reason why Bitcoin is not a store of value is because of how it's going crazy up and down, left and right. It doesn't matter. People say it doesn't matter where you enter, but it does. I guess it doesn't. You know, if you're just going to keep it there, but you better hope and pray that that Ponzi scheme doesn't finally top out. Unfortunately, it hasn't yet. 122,000 is the design that they've given us to say this is the end. Unless some miracle happens. And that's when utility should start. But guys and gals, the Bitcoin dominant chart's at 61.5. If you haven't learned anything from me, that's way too friggin' high. Like, that is... We might as well just start digging our own graves with the Bitcoin dominance that high. And with my expectation of it is that it's going to go up even higher and that we might come up to 73%. Now, the only thing that I think is going to save us if it goes up there is the fact that there's going to be so much money coming into crypto that, you know, even though it's going to command out of, and I tried to show this analogy earlier, 100 billion, let's say $100 billion comes in. Right now, Bitcoin would command $61.5 billion, and only 35 or 34.5 billion can be spread across the crypto market. Just think of it that way. Now, if it goes up to the perceived, if this happens, because one could argue that it is building a final destination here, because sometimes they do. It's like it's building an all-time bear flag here. It's just weird. Like, that looks like an all-time... If I didn't know any better, I would say this was going to zero when this is done. Like, I can't help what I'm seeing here. Like, I just feel like we're predicted this for too long. And if it breaks out of this, well, I'm not sure what it means for crypto if it actually broke to the top side of this. Because I've always planned on this breaking down by the end. And it's doing exactly what I expected. That's why I'm like, we just got to be patient. Like, look how big this is. And this should go on until... That's where I get these numbers, 28 to 32 all the time. Because 32, does everybody understand now? 32 is the end of this for its life cycle. And in the terms of the dominance. Because the dominance should creep down to 52%. just by topping out here at about 7. But we need that top out and for this to start playing out. But if it comes through this is what I'm saying. If it comes through this, it could be a lot different than we expect, and we have to take note of this. And I'm going to start showing this more. Would you guys like me to show the Bitcoin dominance chart more and start talking about this angle like I used to? Because I think it's becoming imperative that I start to go back on this side of town. Some people hated it because it took focus away from XRP. But I really believe that. I think some of my audience doesn't know what I'm talking about right now. How many of you have no clue what I'm about to talk about? Just be honest. I need to know this. I need to know this. Because I wouldn't. Back in my old days when I was, not because I was broke, because there's a lot of rich people that understand this, but when I didn't understand things and I was just throwing my money somewhere with the hope and a prayer. And I always tell everybody, thank God you found my community, because I'm not doing this on a hope and a prayer. I just put it out and I hope people get it to use it the way they want. That's why I can't charge, and that's also why I've had the suggestion from some and I threw it out there and then quickly apologized that I would just make it members only of Tom's Army that can comment in the lives. But how self-conceited and like that just seems like, I don't know, that just rubbed me the wrong way even saying it. Right when I said it, I was like, no, and because then you have voices that aren't heard. Most of the people I get a lot of information from, they're here with their knowledge, and that's something that's more than that I could gain from any kind of monetary donation. That's the thing that most people need to realize. The knowledge you gain that can allow you to earn yourself, it's more than any. It would be better. Most people want me to hand them a portfolio and they make the money. But then what happens when you spend the money? Easy come, easy go, as they say. If you understand how hard and how long you have to sit through and how much it takes to build into something you create, that's why I'll never let this community go. That's why I don't talk about 95% of the world topics, because I don't want to be banned. Because I think we have a greater purpose. But if I didn't know any better, and I'm just some stupid guy on YouTube, look at that. Does that not look like, by definition, I got to teach the audience, bear. And it's not that I'm not looking at your comments, guys and gals, but this is what I've learned in a growing procedure within myself, and it happened yesterday, and this was the growth of 25, that when I'm in a moment, I can read what's being said in the comments, but I got to keep going with what I'm trying to express. Otherwise, then I lose track of what I'm saying. Does that make sense? So I'm seeing what you're saying, and I want you to keep talking. It's just I'm trying to do something different right now, because I think this is important, because if we get on top of this, and this happens, oh, buddy. So the bear flag. Not that. I'm sorry, the bear pennant. This would be a bear pennant. So the bear pennant. Let's see. I want to get you the quick information. But it's a bear pennant. I don't know why I said flag. I was like, why did it come up like that? But it's a bear pennant. With the way it's forming. So now you can learn something so that when you do trading. So a bear pennant. You know, that's by design what you're looking at. You're getting downtrending resistance, uptrending support. Remember the XRP bullish pennant we had here? How about this? How about this? So remember how XRP broke out of the bullish pennant right after the descending wedge? So here. Let's go into the 3 hour. So right here was the bullish pennant. Let me get my arrow out. So see how XRP came up on a bull flag? Like it's a big flag. And now it has resistance, 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 downtrending resistance, which was lower highs. Now you have a low right here. This started the uptrend on the lows. So this is your uptrending support. So you have a low, higher low, until the eventual breakout. So you have lower highs and higher lows coming in off of a bullish side, and it formed a pennant. So you could say even right here is the pennant, if you want to. How about this? You want the pennant here, or do you want the big one? The regular pennant right here, if you just want to do it like that, and you can, but this is the all-time, because that's what it built up to. So if you put it into a higher time frame, you don't see the micro movements. For example, because I guess I can't just say it, because what if you don't know what I'm talking about? So in the daily, look how different that looks. This just looks like it's kind of building up a flag. I mean a pole. So now, this is the importance of technical analysis. Because now, We already know. Oh, crap. Let me get rid of this. I have so much stuff on here because I get so excited. And I have so much stuff to talk about that I can't possibly talk about everything I want, but I want to. I'm going to do a better job of just talking about what I want to and not get so caught up in everything else. So, the pennant, right? Resistance, resistance, resistance. Just remember, lower highs and higher lows at the same time you're forming a pennant flag. Once you make the lower low, it breaks down. If you make a higher high, it breaks out, right? Pretty simple. So if you ever see a pennant that's forming, that's why I say I don't know which directions it's going to go. But a certain probability says it's going to break out with that setup. Just like with Bitcoin, you got to understand what we're saying, yes or no? You guys understand? I've been trying to buy XRP PayNet and it's nowhere I can buy it. I live in the USA and I'm sorry for that. I am sorry for that, but I cannot find it anywhere where I want. But does that make sense? What that breakout was? So anyhow, I'm going to continue. So now a bearish pennant is the opposite. The bearish pennant is the opposite. You have the lower highs and higher lows, but it's coming in from a bearish side with a bear flag, like the bear pole, right? So you got it's the opposite. So it's the opposite. So that's the opposite right now. So now let's go from the bullish side, and here, let's get it out of the 3 hourly because in the high time frames it makes it look even better. And let me go to the other chart where it's not all drawn in. Oh, I guess they're all drawn in because I have 8,000 different ways to look at this. But you see how that is? That's a huge ass pole there leading it up to the pennant. And you see how we back tested the uptrend of the pennant and even came down farther? Nick, I wish you were here. I hope you're here. Did you see how we back tested the, it's so beautiful when all this comes together. And then we're going to get into the Bitcoin dominance because I need to, but the monthly fair value gap at 182, we just showed support on it now. We came through violently, but that 182 area just said, nope. This is the all-time support right now. And I remember Nick was in here a while ago saying, oh, I fear that this could possibly happen. Oh, there he is right there. And he said, I fear that we're going to come down there. And for some reason, I feel like he said, I won't have enough to buy exactly what I want to buy. If it's another Nick that said it like that, I apologize. But for some reason, I feel like you were excited about what you know is coming, but you were mad that you weren't going to have as much as you wanted to take advantage of what you know is coming. If that makes sense, I guess so. If not, I often rhyme for reasons for certain, but for others, I sound like an idiot. So if that hit home, I think you understand. So, and what I'm talking about, yes, it's me. See, I do listen to my audience. So if you don't think that I'm not listening, I actually do listen, I promise. Just like I'm seeing the comments about CBCN and the higher targets if it ever breaks out. I also showed the lower targets if it breaks down in my plan. But this is where XRP is important. This is why I wasn't too worried about the big drop. And where I worry about is it making some kind of weird right shoulder, because now it has to build it. And if it does, this would be the same time I pulled out of the 21 market when it actually came up and failed to form the the right shoulder, and then it ended up being a top. It showed a very consistent top. But what would have to happen here for that to happen, which I personally don't think that's what's happening, unless they're just setting us up for a huge rug pull here so that, I don't know. I could see reasons why they would do something. So you'd have to have it build. Even if it does something like this, you need it to build into an area like that and then start coming down, because then you'd be like, it would be like, oh fuck, we had 3 local tops and it was actually a head and shoulder style pattern. So that's what I'm trying to make sure isn't happening here, because if that's what's happening, you could also see a scenario where it could run something like this, and instead of it being more like you want it to look more like this when you come off of a flag. So then when you're coming through, you're like building pressure, building pressure, building pressure, and then it's like, uh-oh, we ran out of cells. In this case, you're like, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, never selling. Oh yeah, uh-oh, we all sold. 2 completely different scenarios here. But right, you know, that's just, so anyhow, I'm going to get back to the Bitcoin dominance. I got a little excited here. See, now look at my chart. Now all of a sudden I got this going there and that going there, blah, blah, blah. But if you're in the live, you understand. Now, sure, I could charge like the gurus $300 a session, but I'd rather just do it for free. And then if you're here, you're here. And then you can share this with somebody, right? Because now you'll feel the opportunity to not just go somewhere and try to sell it for money. You're going to try to take that knowledge and you're going to try to pass it on to somebody else. And I taught myself all of this, so some of my lingo makes absolutely no sense, which is what makes me brilliant. If Einstein was anything, he was not typical. They often say the biggest dummy is the smartest guy in the room because he's only a dummy because everybody else doesn't understand what he's talking about. And because they don't understand, they think he's dumb. But in hindsight, he's actually the smartest guy in the world. I kind of speak in tones like that because I feel like I can only understand certain things. And then when I talk like that, people are like, what the hell are you talking about? It's like, well, if I understand something and you don't, and I'm telling you it and you think I'm an idiot, what the hell do you think I am an idiot? So when most people come in and watch my charts, they're like, that can't possibly happen. But then when he starts talking, all this stuff starts happening. And now I don't know what he's talking about, but he's making sense. And you never want to be the smartest person in the room. You always want to look like an idiot. So I am before you, and I am an idiot. And we're all learning together because I know nothing and everybody knows everything. Kind of like something like that. My son's sleeping, so we can talk. But I have to talk like this. I can't get loud. Yeah, I have to talk like this. I used to do this with Julie Bick. Okay, Julie, I'll talk in my low voice. What do you want me to say? Ooh, Julie wants us to order tacos. We're ordering tacos. Oh, we don't have to cook tonight because nobody's coming because T's sick. We don't have the other kids here now. That's okay. The one has diabetes. We don't want that too, Inside joke. What? It always made her laugh when she was young. I used to always say it like that to her. Well, she was 7 when she got it. I'll never forget it. But I used to say it like that, and she would laugh about it when we'd have to do the needle poke. So it stuck, and now she's almost 18. God, I'm getting old. But wise. I'd never go back. I'm getting wise. I know so much more now. But anyhow, see why I need to stay on track. So Bitcoin dominance. The whole point of this entire thing, what I was trying to show you on the pennant, doesn't that kind of look like a pennant forming? So now we have to make sure. It's either one of two things are happening. Bitcoin's going to die, and we're going to have some serious pain for a minute. Like, I don't know how to describe this. You either go up or you go down in the pennant. Yeah, I could see us going down in the pennant because look where this brings us. I could see Bitcoin at an 8% dominance, right? But Lord have mercy if this plays out. Oh boy. Let's just say it breaks out here. Do we really want to see Bitcoin at a 9? It's either you like up. You don't, Keith. Keith, you don't like up. That's the Bitcoin dominance chart. If you like up, that means by December, oh, what a great birthday present this would be for me in December of 29. How old will I be then? Hey, Tom, for your 45th birthday, Bitcoin now dominates 96% of the market. How do you feel being XRP Future Millionaire? Well, there's still a 3% market cap that we can take advantage of sitting over here at 0.0007. Hopefully, because we could see it coming on the breakout, we would say, oh my God, this is going to be the biggest, maybe Mike, this is where I would have to say, okay, Michael Saylor, son of a bitch, I seen you. I heard you. I listened. What did I do? Absolutely nothing.
People keep asking about the ZB.
Oh, I love it because that's the sleeper token that I know about because of somebody. One person mentioned it and I did my homework. And once I did, I'm like, oh my God. We're bringing in old world technology into new world assets. And this is going to do it for business, finance. And it was crazy what I learned. The ZBAC network. I'm a big fan of the ZBAC. I wish they would contact me. I'll promote it for free, baby. The ZBAC. Oh, yeah. The ZBAC, the Digibyte, the Algorand. We all know the XRP ledger. There's so many more. There's the Liqua, the V-chains, the IOTAs, the MIOTA.
Somebody asked if Bitcoin dies, will XRP die?
No, just the opposite. We want Bitcoin to die. Damn it, the money's got to go somewhere. Money doesn't go and die and go to money heaven. When Bitcoin dies, that money just doesn't disappear. It goes into utility tokens if you're smart. Most people lost their asses right now. Be honest in my audience so you can teach, please. I've talked about Bagelgate here so many times. When I was just simply eating a bagel. No, seriously, me and Julie didn't have a lot of money. Like, we did, but it was all tied up and stuff. And literally, I built $200 doing long and shorting in the market till it was a $600 trade I made. Now all of a sudden it's up $1,400, so it's $2,000 sitting there at one moment. I go to make a bagel. I'm serious. It's a 10x trade. I'm feeling good. I don't have exactly the insight but I should have known. I made the God blessed bagel, and I swear to you, my phone starts flashing. Oh, I gotta start talking a little bit lower. But I start cooking the bagel. Listen, guys. You don't know the new growth of Tom from yesterday to today. I couldn't care about the comments now. I read them now, but I don't acknowledge the bad ones. I told you. I love the haters now because they invigorate me without even saying anything. Ooh, yeah. Just like Macho Man. So, but he used steroids and, Slim Jims. Ooh, yeah. But anyhow, what I'm saying is, just the bagel game. I was cooking the bagel. It was up to like just over $2,000. I'm like, oh my God, if I keep doing this, I'm a fucking genius. 10x. No, what was it? It was 20x. No, 10x. That was what it was. I thought I was safe. So I'm cooking the bagel. So then the bagel's done, but I have to melt the butter. So now I'm melting the butter, and all of a sudden, my phone just starts flashing, and it goes, bzz, 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 bzz. And the market I look at Bitcoin, it's like Bitcoin dropped $7,000 in 4 minutes. I'm like, what? Or 5,000 points. I'm like, uh-oh. And it's like XRP's dropped 21% in 3 minutes. And I'm like, uh-oh. And it said, you've been liquidated. And I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God. I'm like, I could have just put, oh my. And I'm like, and I remember I collapsed on the bed next to Julie, and I said, uh-oh, Julie. I said, no, you don't understand. Now I got to start over. I got to do this and that. So, that's what started me trying to understand the charts at an even deeper level. And then I had to trade leverage at 100x after I had enough funds so that I could understand the smaller liquidation, so that I could understand the spot market at a finite levels. Now I don't even trade leverage. I have no leverage trades open. None. So I don't talk about it. I don't promote it. I don't like people that have to go down that road.
Somebody asked if you're mad at them because they feel like they're getting ignored.
Oh no, I'm not. I'm ignoring everybody. I'm reading. I'm not ignoring you, but I was trying to get this point out. So I learned that sometimes when I'm trying to do something, I can't. Because look at all the different people that are haters and lovers. If I get my emotions tied up within all of you, then I can't keep going. So now, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pimp out the info. And then if you want to stay good for you, I'll be like the pimp master of crypto info. Or just technology or, just stuff like that. Or if you don't want it, then you can leave. And somebody said it in the audience once. They said, pimp the simp. And I didn't know what they were talking about. Or I'm just making it up. Maybe, Julie, no, I just make things up. So this is a case I'm probably making it up. I'm probably the one who said that. So pimp the simp to me just means ignore them, but just give out the knowledge and then they have no choice but to keep watching. And then eventually they'll just shut up. And if they stick around, they're part of my analytics now. And then you're going to see me forever, and then I win.
Thomas, you might have to confirm if Trump is or is not talking.
Apparently Trump's not talking. Are they? Is he? I thought he was talking. My audience got me believing he was talking. I really believed it. Everybody kept saying it in my morning live, so I'm like, all right, I'll be back at 2:30 for when he talks. What the heck happened? But anyhow, this Bitcoin dominance chart, do you see what I mean? The downtrending resistance, the uptrending support, that's a bearish pennant. So if that breaks down, big. But I mean, I don't know. It seems weird. Kind of seems weird for a bearish pennant. It kind of seems like, I don't know. I can't explain it. Could there really be so much money in Bitcoin or in the, let's just say there's so much money. And this is a scenario. Sure, Bitcoin commands 96% of the money. But instead of having a you know, $3 trillion market.
Somebody said in an hour and 40.
It's a $7 quadrillion market. Would that make sense? Oh, I'm not trolling about ZBCN. Why is that me trolling? I like it. I didn't tell you guys to buy it. I just said that's something I like. Somebody told me to look into it one day, and I started looking into it for a little bit. I like the ZBEC network. I'm not talking about, you know, the Canadians. Even though they're my brethren to the north, and they suffer just like we do in the States. Be honest with me. If you didn't know what chart this was, what would you guys say on this candle that just formed? Would you say we're bullish or bearish? If I said, hey guys, this is the XRP chart, just from right here, forget everything else. How ironic is it Testicular Tuesdays today, Julie? This would be the 3rd annual purchase on Testicular Tuesdays on a crash. That was part of it, guys. Somebody actually said I've been waiting for it because I'm not spreading rumors. Read what Shane said. There's 2 of them. Because I am a big fan of both, I can't buy the other one. Yes, somebody said it. The bearish hammer candle, which what would it do? It would confirm this bearish pennant. Now remember, we can have a fake out. That's why I drew this line. Remember, I like to draw the lines for fake outs. So I have a sneaky suspicion that they might try to trick us, and we might flow 71% of money into Bitcoin. If the worst case scenario, well, I hope is the worst case scenario, happens. Because sometimes that does happen. And that's my plus minus area if it breaks out early. If it breaks out late, you know, I don't want to be... I can't tell with my phone upside down. Yeah, that's a bear flag. That's a bear pennant, I mean. Here, I'll put it in a... that's the Bitcoin dominant chart. I'll put it in a... easier for you guys to see. What's this? Get off my screen. And this is in the monthly. That's the highest I can put it. Let's see in the weekly how it looks. That's the monthly. Oh, there you go. That's the weekly. Oh, wait a minute. On your phone, that might be even harder to see. I don't know. That's the, that's super bearish. But that should be bearish. And that should bring it down in time down to 8.5%. That's why I keep saying our time is 28 to 32. Because that's when Bitcoin is telling me it's going to fall off. By 2032, it should start falling off by 2028. Because after 2028, you start to get into this point where you start to command less and less money pretty quickly. Actually, from now, it's actually getting to the fall off moment. Because it gets quicker every time. Like, because before you could bounce back and still command, but then it's less. So at some point we should have a drop off. Like, I feel like alt season's right around the freaking corner. I can't help shaking it. And all these charts I'm seeing that are building up the information, it's speaking of that. What is this screen? Dude, they blocked out what I had.
What about Music of the Angels?
What the heck? Well, I'll just put back on what I had before, right?
You're fired.
Something. Nah, I'll put on what Julie said. Oh, there's my snow. Yeah, I know. God, I gotta listen to this. I forgot this is T's portfolio. There you go. There you go. But it makes it seem like we're about to have some kind of alt season because this really does look like it would want to break down. But the other thing that I see, which is kind of scary, isn't that golden cross with the back test of the golden cross and now a back test of this little cup? That's why I said I kind of think we could see a re-push up here even before we have some kind. I don't know. This is all freaking screwish. So I'm saying if I was looking at this, I would be like, oh man, this could break out of here. Looks bullish. Pissing me off. Might have to turn your Lambos back in. It may be bearish, but I'm saying the alternative thinking here. See, now we're being contrarian if it breaks up. There was no announcement. We basically had Mo, what? Let's see, because it was more than 3.
Trump is meeting with the Israeli Prime Minister right now.
Is it on TV?
Yeah, just the Prime Minister. Or him with the Prime Minister.
Oh, big nothing burger speech. Oh, yeah, that was a big, it was. Anthony, we are, sure we are in commodities. Commodities doing great. They love when these people come together. They feast off of these people. Every time these guys come together, commodities get a little bit more expensive. Like, just beneath everybody's nose, has anybody realized gold's getting awfully close to $3,000 an ounce? It's up to $2,842 an ounce. That is incredible. Silver's at $32 an ounce now. I can't remember the last time I seen the never. Well, no, I can't say that. 2008 when it went up to like 50. But look at that. Like, to be excited about nothing is to be excited about everything. Well, that kind of sounds stupid, but because if you're excited about nothing, the first thing you see, you're going to be like, oh my God, look at the possibility. But to know a lot and to see something that really gets your interest, that makes you feel a whole different kind of way. I've been on both sides of it. I know there's people in the audience that know what I'm saying. And when you see a chart like that, oh my God, I know it took decades. I wasn't even alive when this started. When this cup started, and now the handle from this cup, it was 1978, I think. Thank God, what a time to be alive. What a time to be alive. Even if you're old and you're watching, what a time to be able to pass on some worldly assets to the younger ones in your family, and they'll never have to friggin' worry. Like, what a time to be ahead of technology. Nobody cares about gold and silver now except the countries. Hell, why should we pay attention if all the countries are buying all the gold and silver? I argue, why pay attention to even gold right now? Silver's 88.5 to 1. You can get all the gold you want by trading your silver at a... So basically, you're going to buy, and this is my advice, and I've been saying it for a long time. If silver's at $32 and it presents that huge cup and handle, and it's over 80 to 1... How I would argue 65 to 1, but just because it sounds better, 80 to 1, and it's easier to do what I'm going to tell you. You buy the silver, and oh yes, it's heavier, but you save that silver, and then the place you buy it from, if it's reputable bullion dealer like JM Bullion, you send them, or you find someone who's local. You know, you can, if you have a relationship with somebody, you can even find pawn shops, but you know, you're going to have to make sure they don't try to screw you. You take your 80 ounces of silver, in this case, 88.5 ounces of silver you buy today. You take, when it gets to 40 to 1, if you want gold, you take 40 ounces out of that 88.5 ounces of silver when it's 40 to 1, and they will give you a bar of gold. That's the exchange rate. You might have to give them 1 or 2 more, like 42 or 43 to offset some of the, you know, they got to make money. But you're going to get that ounce of gold. And think about that. And then you still have the other 45 ounces of silver. So now you've essentially got a, you know, free ounce of gold. Well, no, you paid half. You basically paid half price for the gold. That's something that the rich people have been doing. And that's why they have a monopoly. And they've been for years and years and years. They've been kind of tilting the favor here so that things will go up and things will go down. Never notice the ratio stays somewhere for a long time then switch. So some people laugh at me when I talk about this, but I mean, that's okay. I like when people laugh. I like when people cry too. You know, because I like to feel all emotion. If I feel all emotion, it means I'm alive. I'm kicking. I know what's going on. I'm living in the moment. We have not had alt season. But let's get into XRP. It's been an hour and 14 minutes, and Julie's hungry. I'm hungry. And this is my second live of the day, but that's bearish. Sorry, that's bearish right now. But during the live, in the beginning, I said $2.39, or I said $2.39, but it's $2.43. So $2.40, well, $2.39 I like better. But $2.09 would be below this. But it doesn't look so good. Well, no, we haven't really eaten a lot today, to be honest. But I don't usually get hungry from smoking. I only eat 8 hours of the day. I fast 16 hours of the day, and I've been doing it for over 3 years without a break. And that's just what I do. And one of my favorite things to eat now, believe it or not, I like to have a half a cup, and this is my thing at 8:30 or it's either 8 or 8:30, depending on when I start eating, because usually I don't eat until like 12:30. I'm bad. But so usually around 8 or 8:30, I have my oatmeal. It's a half a cup of rolled oats. None of that crap they give you in Quicker Oats. And then I do yogurt, but it's not like the yolk plate or anything. I found a brand that is actually pretty good. It's called Brown Cow, and it's none of you don't get a lot of the crap that. Anyhow, I put that and I mix it in with the yogurt or with the rolled oats, and then I either cut up a banana or strawberries or blueberries or all three, and I mix it in there, and then it's usually about 380 calories. But sometimes, and I've been doing this recently, just to get a little extra protein. And you get like 25 grams of protein if you do the whole thing, and it's like 70 calories, but you can only process 20 grams of protein at a time. So anything over that at one single sitting, it's pointless. I don't care what anybody says, your body can only do what the body can do. So, and if you ask me what my credibility is, nothing today, but I used to be a personal trainer and a certified nutritionist within a gym. I had to go through the courses. I was dual certified before I broke my back. So I do have some knowledge in the game, but anyhow. So then I mix that, and it's about 7 grams of protein. And then I get 6 grams of protein from the yogurt. But you get a bunch of fiber from this and that. And then you get a few grams of this and that from the blueberries and the bananas and the strawberries. And that's what I eat. And then I don't eat anything else until 12 o'clock the next day. So when I wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning, I'm not eating anything. And it's, I don't know, it's good for me. But I've looked forward to that last meal of the night. And it doesn't matter if I eat at 6 o'clock. I'm still eating that last thing at 8:30. But I've been focusing more stuff that builds the muscle so that it doesn't have to eat the muscle and for recovery. Because when your muscles don't recover properly, especially the older you get, you start eating in the muscle fibers and the tissues. And then they start breaking down a little bit easier. And then your joints start hurting. Oh, yeah, it's a whole big mess when you start working out and doing stuff. It's not as easy as they say. But it's worth every minute. God, there's nothing I love more than knowledge. I remember when I was trying to learn all of this, I'm like, I walked into the gym the first time. Oh, man, you want to talk about feeling like an idiot. I was 265 pounds. I know people were staring at me because I didn't even know what I was doing. What am I doing here? I feel like I don't even know what I'm doing because I'm... Oh, the color got changed. I feel so dumb. But I didn't know what I was doing, and I used to just... And it's funny now? Like, when I see somebody who's, like, overweight coming into the gym, it motivates me. I'm like, oh, here we go. Come on, baby. I've been there before. And every time I get in there and that same person's there, you get even more motivated. And then when they're starting to lose weight and getting in better shape, you're like, oh, my God, look at this. Then you lose focus on yourself for a minute because now you're rooting for this person. Then you start looking at yourself, what the hell happened? How did this happen? Oh, yeah, it's been fucking 3 decades. Now we're starting to get it. Anyhow. I love the newbies. The problem is it's also a little demoralizing because by about now, because now when I go back into my gym, and it's a small gym, I just go to HotWorks. There's like really nobody lifting weights. I don't like to go with the meatheads. Me take steroids. Me, rawr. So I stay out of those gyms. I've seen too much of it as a trainer and bad reputation. But, so, awesome. I lost 47 pounds since I started my homestead. Love it. See, oats I love oats. Love oats. No, you can see it on a lot of places. Yeah, somebody announced it. See, Coinbase, I can't buy it either. I've tried it all, believe me. Tried it all. No, I do not gym with cannabis. I don't like to smoke cannabis until after I worked out for the first time in the morning. So I don't usually smoke until I've already worked out. It's just that there's a reason for it. For me. I like to, when I first wake up, I like to, I think this is a good way to show you guys what's actually happening here. So we need to hold this. And this would be very bullish. It's just if it comes down below this, then we start to, we start to teeter on something interesting. And I don't really want to go back down that road, but it has to do with having a double bottom in play. But anyhow, when I get up, I shower and stuff, and then the very first thing I do after my shower, sometimes you gotta shave. I don't like to shave every day, every other day, because it gets too sensitive. But then I just do my update, take our son to school. Julie drops me off at my gym. I walk home. If we're not having school, I walk to the gym and walk back. I stopped driving like 2 years ago because I can't see out of my left eye except for blur, and by the time I got to almost 40, I was basically going into other lanes, not even realizing it until Julie was in the car one day with my son, and it's like, uh-oh. No wonder people are beeping the horn at me. I can't even walk in a straight line, let alone driving. So I gave it up. But, I'm not a burden on anybody. I pay for my way. If I got to go somewhere, I take an Uber or Lyft. I don't care. I'm not going to burden anybody. It's just, but I usually walk. If it's something within 2 miles, I'm walking. I love walking. I don't care if it's winter. I think it keeps me humble, to be honest with you. Because people look at me like I must be homeless because I'm walking through the snow to get somewhere. But I look at it as, man, you guys just don't even understand how beautiful and blessed my life is. You may have that fancy car, but I understand things that most of you could only desire. And that's just being a modest observer of what people look at me as. You should see it. It's amazing. Anyhow. But I like to be modest. I like to live well below my means, because then you can basically function no matter what's thrown at you. Yeah, so that's what you need to get out of this right now, because I'm going to have to go here, but that's what you got to get out of this. I hope I didn't bore everybody, honestly, but I have 4 kids and still get to the gym and church, James. Yeah, listen. I hear all the excuses every day from everybody saying they don't have time. But my simple answer is, how long were you on TikTok today? Or how long were you on, because like my family members always say, I ain't got time to go to the gym. I don't have time to do this. I got a special needs son where 4 days a week we're in some kind of therapy plus school and all this other stuff. And it's not a no-brainer. My son goes to school in the morning. I have a little bit of time. And then I'm working constantly, too, with this show. And it takes a lot because I don't have a production team. It's just me recording to putting it out to you. I don't do any editing. You guys get to see all my raw nonsense. And even if it sounds bad, hey, that's what you get. That's how it is that day. I'm not trying to be fancy. I'm just trying to be factual. I want to give knowledge. I'm so blessed to know what I know because the Lord and Savior said you're going to do it right. He humbled me at an early age. I told you. I did certain things that were not so smart. Did I ever tell you the story? And it's funny. The guy laughs about it now. We haven't seen him in a while, but he laughs about it. Turns out he was a big scumbag anyhow. So, Steve Mabry, if you're watching. I could tell you stories. But anyhow, he was my dad's friend. And, Dad, if you're watching, hey, Dad, how's it going in Illinois today? I went to his house, and I was probably 9, 10 years old. And I don't know, he was mean to me. I don't remember what happened, but I was fat, and they used to always make fun of me. And, they're grown up. But anyhow, I didn't know this was going to happen this way. But, and Lord, please don't judge me on this too harshly. I was a very young man. I wasn't even a man. I was a little boy. I didn't know the significance of super glue. And it was in his bathroom. So, I may or may not have put a little bit of it on his seat. And then I may have put a little bit on. I didn't know what this stuff was at the time. I just dumped it into this container. And I don't know. It was supposed to be something for his hands. And listen, I would be so famous if somebody would have recorded this back in the day. This was in the 90s. And not only did he sit down and get stuck to the toilet seat, he touched his eyes and his eyes got... I know it's not funny, but think of the scenario. You sit down and you're super glued to the seat, and then your eyes are basically super glued shut. You're stuck to the seat. Your eyes are glued shut. And then he got his hand stuck to the counter. So, and he was taking a shit. So I got much karma in my life. Oh, man. I told you. And I got reamed out so bad for, oh, you have no idea. It was not fun living that, but looking back at it, 30-something, almost, oh, man. And they laughed, but as it turns out, this guy became a corrupt Detroit cop, and he got fired for corruption, and he was, oh, yeah, it was bad. So I guess the Lord was about me inflict justice on him for crimes not committed yet. And then the Lord broke my back at 23, so I think I deserved it in some ways. It's the only way I could have been the person I am now, so I don't know. I think it all plays into itself. I do, for some reason. I think my stupidity played into it somehow, and I had to be set right. Sometimes you pay for your sins, even if you're still alive, and that's just how it goes. But then it allowed me to slow myself down, get into good shape, gain a lot of knowledge while I was recovering over like a 6-year period. So it's it. But look at that. I'm not done on this pattern yet, because it's been resistance, support, resistance, support, resistance, support. If it holds, you know, it had a big bounce down, but then it created a V. So, oh, it is being a kid. It is being a kid. If you want to talk about just being a kid, me and my sister's ex-husband, Jimmy, I know he's not watching, but we were driving in his truck, and hey, he was driving, and this guy was out, and we were here, I don't know, 16 maybe, and he was driving, and we drove by, and the guy was shoveling, and there was this big puddle of water, and it's not warm outside, and he's just shoveling. It's out on the main road. The guy was kind of a dick anyhow. He used to yell at us when we were walking by for walking on like his grass stuff all the time, and he was like, it was like some kind of gypsy thing next door that was like I don't know what they would do. They'd read like your mind or something. I don't know what it was, some weird thing. It got shut down many years ago, but it was by where I used to grow up with my dad. And he turns around and he hits this puddle, and the guy seen it coming because he turned his shovel. And when I tell you it's not funny, but looking back on it, if it happened to me, if you tell the story later, it's funny. You know? But I've had stuff happen to me, and I'm like, you son, my dad, when we were driving down the road, this is real karma. This kid, now he's a kid, he throws a rock and hits my dad's window. Well, my dad he was grown, he got raised by a strict Italian that came over on the boat. My dad's not one to take this shit. So my dad turned that car around, he tracked down through these apartments and housing complexes where these kids were throwing this rock was, and he got out of the car. These kids looked like they seen a freaking ghost. Oh my God, I bet you they never threw a rock at a car again. My dad, oh my, he never called the cops though. He just rang the fear of death itself into him. And my dad was a yeller. The only reason he didn't hit us more is we laughed at him when we hit him. When he hit us the first time, me and my brother laughed at him. And then when he hit us harder, we laughed. And my dad couldn't hit us to begin with. He's got too soft of a heart. He's not like my grandpa. Well, God bless you, Grandpa, but you know. They had the Switch. And I'm not talking about the Nintendo Switch. Oh, no, sir. You finished what was on the plate at my grandparents' house, even if you didn't like it. That's why I don't like food. Truth be told. 246. 246. But I'm going to go. I think I've told you a lot about a lot. I hope this isn't a head and shoulders. I hope that's not the head. Lord have mercy on us, and please don't make this the head. I'm showing you all the bullish scenarios, and I'm showing you all of the, oh my God, what can happen. Take all this to heart. Don't come to any prior judgment, and just let this play out. It either plays out in the way we're thinking, or we can start thinking outside the box. Do you want me to think outside the box? Right before I leave, Julie knows, because she wants something, and I know what she wants, and it's not me. No, I'm kidding. She wants dinner. And we need to get it because T's sleeping right now. But what if we think of this outside the box? And unlike TikTok says, I am not AI. TikTok removes my video on the regular saying, I am AI. How about this? I think this is what's going on. Lord have mercy, I wanted to show this for a day and a half, but I couldn't do it. Because I bought in and I gave in to all the trolls. I couldn't get to this point. That's what we're doing. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Because that's what we're doing right now. This is the pattern. So, if anything gets anything, I showed you every single angle possible, but this is what's actually what happened. Right? Right? Am I wrong? That's what happened on us? Boom! Broadening wedge. You only need 2 hits on support and resistance. Kaboom, kabing, kabang, kabam, we're out. But that's what's happening, and that's what we'll talk about next. The damn broadening wedge. If you don't know what it is, look it up, but that does mean that we have potential all the way back down to $1.72 for a double bottom. But these, because it came in this way, should be super bullish. But